It's that time.
Up, people?
It's that time. We got some people
What-
in the
what time
chat.
is it?
Ink Pulp Live. It's time to get ill. What's the time? It's time to get ill.
Time to get ill. What's the time? It's time to get ill.
It's April or something. I don't know. Shawn, I'm stoked though. Fantastic Four show tonight with the incredible Jake Parker.
Very stoked. Very stoked.
Love Jake Parker.
Jake and I have some cool stuff to talk about. We'll tell you guys about it in a second here.
You guys are planning world domination on the education front for
that's right. That's right.
Comic makers. Art fanatics.
I'm stoked that he chose the FF. We haven't done like a proper Kirby creation yet, I don't think. Have we?
Yeah.
We did Dr. Doom, right?
You're putting me on the spot. Yeah, Dr. Doom. Yeah. Dude, we've done enough shows that I don't know what is going on sometimes.
Either do I. But I do know we're generating a lot of artwork for an Inkpulp Live art book someday.
Yes. Yeah. Hell yeah. Jazzy Jamie Wood is in the house. Jazzy, we understand you were stung on the face by a deadly Scottish wasp.
The famous deadly Scottish wasp.
Much deadlier than the American wasp, mind you.
It's like the wasp's got a kilt on, dude. It's horrible.
Its wings make the sound of bagpipes.
But I am here.
So Jamie's handsome face won't be on the show tonight, which is disappointing. But
hey, what do you guys think of my nice, like, warm filter on my camera that I put on? It's kind of nice.
It looks cozy.
It's good. It looks relaxed. It looks relaxed. Kosser in the house. West Coast Dave.
Kosser, what up? West Coast Dave. 9 monkeys. Everyone's here. We're partying.
Ryan
tonight.
Berry, Benjamin Flores, Renee Allen. All these lovely people. Dude, Shawn, man, you want to get into some promo stuff?
I was just going to say it. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Wait. I do want to say I'm the only one that has the spirit of the show in their name every week, but I'm going to leave it at that. Let's promote.
Oh, yeah, I always forget. Yeah, okay.
All right, people. My Kickstarter pre-launch is live, as you know, because I keep telling you all. We've got another month of pre-launch before the campaign. I need to get numbers up. And my sketchbook is free if you just hit that notify me button and pledge at any level. And there's going to be some very inexpensive levels. So, also, you guys are going to like this. This is a cool Kickstarter function, Jim. I don't know if you know about this. You can make a link that you can send only to specific people for a different price. So, like, I made a link for the Inkpulp community, so all of you guys can buy the book at a discount. But I will put the link in the Discord. I'll put the link on the live show while the campaign's going on. So I thought it was a cool way to give thanks to the community, was to have a special Inkpulp pricing for the Inkpulp community. But I just need you guys to hit the notify me on launch, please, now.
During that pre-launch.
Speaking of pre-launches, we got another one to talk about.
Defective Comics presents the line of superhero parody comic books continues on, you guys, with the second installment launching October 1st. Arachnid Enforcer, that's right. Pre-launch page is active. If you bought the actual Savage Street Vigilante book, where is it? Well, this is the Jim Rugg cover, but there's a QR code in the back for the Savage Arachnid Enforcer ad. You hit that QR code, or just go to the link that Jamie's providing you.
The links are in the description.
And also, none of the art on this pre-launch page is really final art. These are just sort of images, but you know, it gives you the flavor, but I'm still building this world and plotting and scripting everything. But it's going to be a fun, incredible ride, funky ride.
Hell yeah. I'm excited. I'm stoked. And you know, we've got Jake on the show tonight, so he can give us some good business tips. He's he's either looking at us like these guys are doing great, or oh, these guys are totally
Yeah, I
screwing
know.
the dog.
Speaking of Jake,
Yes.
Nice.
Okay, guys. We're going to be talking about this throughout the show, but Jake and I have a 10-week comic book course that we've spent the past year and a half putting together. And I confidently say this, it is the best 10-week intensive on how to do comics out there. I've always been very confident in my skills as a teacher and my knowledge as a cartoonist, but Jake is blowing my mind with what he knows and how he presents it. So I think the two of us together are a home run. Registration's open now. Link is in the description. Let's get those signups going. Class starts May 1. Registration closes at the end of April.
This is
some
professional
yeah,
shit going on here, man.
Yeah, this is through the school Jake's a part of, SVS Learn, and they are pros all the way through and through. So the whole this has a virtual online community space. We have lectures that you'll be watching every week on your own time, and we're going to have live Zoom sessions every week with you guys. But Jake and I will talk about this during the show a little more. But let's get signed up now. We've got some people coming in, and I want to get this class bumping because it's going to be dope. And at the end of the class, you will have either a pitch package done or a 10 to 20 page story done. I know one young artist that I'm talking to about using this to get a short story, 10 to 20 page story done, and then they can kickstart that afterwards, which would be great.
So for $600, you don't have to go to art school and spend $200,000.
Exactly. It's a no brainer. And there's no two teachers in art school that can go toe to toe with what Jake and I are doing here.
Oh yeah. You guys know what you're doing, man. There's no doubts. It's gonna be amazing, man. Props on this. We'll talk more about it.
Definitely. All right, and then we got some Kickstarters to show.
Speaking of friends and family, Brian Christopher Moss, power to the panel on YouTube, our homeboy, has launched a brand new Kickstarter, Project Unicorn, Metropolis Smiles issue 1. For the low price of $10, you get Brian's new comic book.
Yeah, guys, let's get on board and support Brian and what he's doing with the K-Fam stuff.
I mean, shit, digital copies $5, print copies 10. And Brian is just our homeboy and, is over on YouTube live streaming literally every single day and building his own community of indie comic book rebels over there. And they're all badass kids, all good folks. And it's all positive, man. It's just cool. It's just good.
Brian's got a movement happening. We got to get him on the show. We definitely.
I keep inviting him, and we're just trying to figure out a schedule but Brian's our bro. He's the shit. Jamie, what was the next one? Oh yeah, our boy Scott Morse, also a family member to the Inkpulp crew. 7 days left on This Ink Runs Cold. Shawn, Mateo, and I all have written stories for this brilliant Kickstarter. Scott is illustrating everything, and it's all one-pagers written by
it's incredible.
The top people in comics. It's Scotty Young, Stan Kai, Mike Allred. I mean, look at the list here.
George Pratt, Attack Peter's in there.
Yeah.
Wow.
All colored by Jose Villarubio.
Yes.
Support this one, guys. It's a banger.
Yeah. And this is how you come back to comics after being in animation for a while. This is just this is a baller move.
Yeah. Gonna be great. And then Shawn.
Yes, we have some members of the family of Kickstarters going, and this is Thane, I believe. Thane doesn't have much left to go to meet the goal and is in need of help. This is a card game or a board game, I believe, that Thane put together. Let's get in and support this. It looks super fun. Yeah, it's a card game. Super fun, and
Wow,
it's
look at
really
that.
nicely designed. Look at that. How dope
That's
is
awesome.
that?
That's great.
Yeah, this is super awesome. So let's get behind this. In fact, I gotta, as soon as the show's over, I gotta go put my pledge in. I haven't done that yet. But yeah, let's show some love for a fellow Inkpulp community member.
Dude, those characters are badass. Look at that guy with the
I know.
gnarly ass bat. That's great.
I know. It's so good. It's so good. I really enjoy Thane's work. And then our homie, Jay Miller, here, who saved Jim's life at PlanetCon.
This is true. He did save my life.
He's got a yeah, he did,
we won't go into the story, but Jason.
No, that's for those in the know.
That's a Patreon exclusive.
Right. Let's help Jay. Has he reached the goal yet, Jamie? I can't see that small.
Sorry, I was muted. Yes, he has. He's
okay, great.
Funded.
All right. Well,
okay,
here,
cool.
good. I'm glad to see he's met the goal, but let's Inkpulp community. Let's show some love to a fellow member.
By the way, guys, the links to every Kickstarter that we've shown is in the description if you want to check it out.
All right.
As well as this one.
Right. Yeah. So here, guys, this is a pretty looking book. Another member of the Inkpulp community.
Yeah.
I think this is a really pretty looking cartooning book, and this is not a Kickstarter. It's just a pre-order, but I wanted to show you all this. I'm really kind of blown away by all the projects everyone's working on and the quality of everything. So this is just one of those books that I was super hyped to see. So I wanted to show you all, and you all can get your copy. The link is in the description, Jamie, is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, cool. So let's show some love there. And then I think what is the next thing? What I think
that's all the links we have to show.
Okay. So now it's the images, right?
Yes.
Okay, we got some good images for you guys.
Let's start with this one.
All right, this is good stuff. One of the Inkpulp community people did portraits of all of us, and I'm sorry, I get these DMs and I save the images. I'm trying to be good about names and everything, but the DMs got buried, so I don't remember the name of the artist who did this. But these are such good portraits, and he did Mateo and I, and he was working on Jim, but he sent Mateo
and I
first.
Look at this.
Look at that. The arachnid enforcer himself, Jim Mahfood.
My God.
And then there's Mateo in his Mastodon hoodie that he's had as long as I've known him. He's had that hoodie.
This is true. Dude, Mateo looks like he's ready to mosh. He's ready.
Yeah, he's ready to throw his hip out and hurt his knee.
He's ready to go.
And then next up we have
got, so as you guys know, Sam McClurg, one of the community members here, was very active in the Discord as well, and in the Patreon, is putting together an anthology, and a lot of you have jumped on board, and I love seeing that you guys are like teaming up and the community's coming together to do this. This is a nice looking anthology Sam's putting together. Look at these cool ass pages coming out. So I just wanted to take a minute to say good on all of you. This is a good looking thing you guys are doing.
Be awesome. Shout out to Sam.
Yeah.
This is dope.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the final product. And Sam's got plans for a second and third volume, I believe, already. So I guess there's going to be room in those books if any of you want to jump in.
Get on it.
The last thing we have to show, Jim.
Oh, this just came in. Our homeboy Osman Kankarakai on Instagram sent this to me as a DM a couple weeks ago. Another Savage Street Vigilante piece of fan art. There's some fluids dropping from him. I don't know.
This is underground cartooning, people.
Use your imagination, folks. Use your imagination. And but shout out, holy shit, this is a beautiful piece, dope piece. And then Jamie, could I get full camera, please? Because speaking of fan art,
Oh boy.
the hits just don't stop coming.
Oh my God, that is so good.
Our boy Don Davis, who works at a tattoo parlor in New Orleans called Tattoo A Go-Go. And I met Don a couple weeks ago when I was in Lafayette, Louisiana for a Comic-Con. Super cool dude, came by my table, bought some art. His tattoo parlor, man, is next to a comic book store, record store in New Orleans called Sisters in Christ. So Shawn, you and I have both been invited sometime this year to go out to New Orleans. You can guest tattoo at Tattoo A Go-Go, and we can also do a signing, live art event, and or gallery show.
Yeah, we're definitely doing this. We're definitely doing this. We're gonna do something. I'm definitely gonna come down and tattoo, and Jim and I are gonna come down and do something. We're gonna tear it up in New Orleans.
We got to do it. So this is some of Don's art. He is as you can see, a fantastic artist. This is
hell yeah,
really great
Dude,
stuff.
I love
and
it.
then he sent me this is the original of piece he did.
Damn.
So this is painted.
Damn.
So dope, man. I love it. And then Shawn, check this out, dude. This is one of his pieces, and it's just absolutely gorgeous, man.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Is that a print or an original?
Gorgeous.
Print?
It's a print.
Wow. Yeah. That's a whole back piece.
But man,
that's a whole back piece right there.
This design and color, this is going up in the studio, dude. This is brilliant.
Yeah. Dude, yeah. That's a whole back piece. That's not easy to design.
And he also makes comics
and
books.
Dope.
And so, I mean, Don is like the real deal.
With these guys. Yeah, we got to.
So, yeah, we need, dude, look at that die cut.
Oh, that's nice.
And Shawn, this is almost just like Flash. Like,
yeah, it totally is. Very traditional, Japanese traditional. I love it.
So I'm thinking, man, I might need to just get tattooed by Don while we go down there, and then
we should both get something. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
let's do it. I'll get something.
But Don, thank you so much, man. This was a really amazing
show the shirt.
package.
Show the shirt.
Oh shit! And I'll be rocking
I'm jealous.
This.
I'm really jealous of this one
around town.
Oh, well, I'm gonna buy one of these shirts when I get down there. It's got a ringer sleeve too. It's dope.
It's a beauty. So Shawn, I'm going to get fresh new haircut tomorrow. You know, I ordered the fresh new gold chains in the mail. I'm gonna be rocking the Tattoo A Go-Go shirt tomorrow.
Love it.
Strutting down the street, fresh new do, looking fresh, aqua velva, the Persian anthem trance on the headphones. The gold chains with this t-shirt, bro.
Hell yeah.
Ladies of Kansas City, you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay.
As long as you have leopard skin underwear on underneath it all, you're set, dude.
Let's get to drawing, Shawn.
Yes, sir. Let's bring in our guest. What are we doing?
Hey,
Jake.
How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
Jake Parker.
Nice to have you back.
Man, that stuff you just rolled through was super impressive.
Jake, the most surprising thing of starting the show has been the amount of talent that's actually in the community out there that's making their own stuff right now. Like
There's so many talented people.
It's
crazy.
It's incredible. It's really encouraging. It's awesome.
Yeah. Have you seen that that he's a YouTuber, he's like a music producer, and he has this rig that he can carry and mix beats and make riffs and everything, and he wears it as he walks around Manhattan.
I've seen the live streams.
Yeah, he does these live streams, and he's got a microphone, and people just come off the street and they'll start rapping and freestyling or singing or whatever. And he'll mix a beat for them, and then they'll just freestyle, and they'll be like talking about people walking down the street or singing or whatever.
I've seen this. You told me about it, I think.
Talent walking around unnoticed is incredible, and that's just like musicians. That doesn't even like factor in the artists that are around us who can like draw really cool.
Right.
There's a lot of talent out there.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
Me too.
What are we drawing today? We're doing Fantastic Four,
We're
right?
doing the FF, Jake.
Yes.
And I
I'm
am doing
stoked.
Reed Richards, I believe.
Yes.
Sweet.
That's who you
I'm going to
chose.
switch to my
Go for it.
tablet.
So, Jamie, let me get the screen real quick because I sent everyone the pencils for this. Although, Jamie, I didn't send you the link.
It's all
to
good. They're
put it
pinned in
in.
chat.
Okay, great. Thank you, Jamie. I haven't done Johnny Storm in forever. Every time I draw the FF, it's Sue, Reed, or Ben. And it's not for any neglect or lack of love of Johnny. I think it's a bit of intimidation because John Buscema defined that great look of his. And I just wasn't sure I was going to handle that fire look, but I'm all about it today. So I've noticed with a lot of people who get my pencils and ink them, they're like, I don't mark off the blacks because I know where they're going to go on my head. So I want you all to try to think about using white shapes to pronounce black shapes and black shapes to pronounce white shapes. Because that's one thing I think some of you are missing when you go into ink these. So I'll talk about that as I go, but you can put the screen back to everyone else.
Jake, how you been, man?
I've been doing good, man. You guys were talking about Graphic Novel Pro, and that has been like all I've been doing for the last 2 weeks. I've neglected like pretty much anything other than that.
Oh shit. Yeah.
I used to be like pretty consistent with posting on Instagram and making sure I do a story every day and doing my newsletter every week. And lately I'm just like, you know what? Priority right now is getting this thing dialed in. And that's what I've been working on.
I love how Jake is so even about that, because in my mind, I'm like, I'm ruining my business and I'm freaking out because I don't have the time to post. And Jake is just very logical. Like, right now, the priority is the class, and I'll get back to that.
Just quickly, guys, we got a $5 super chat from Zaid Comics.
Right.
Thank you, Zaid.
He or she said, "Yo gang, I love this week's podcast. Lots of great info for indie creators. I'll be selling my books this year at C2E2 and Heroes.
Nice.
Hope to meet y'all there."
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
please stop by and say hi at C2E2. And Marty was amazing on the podcast this week, definitely.
Oh yeah. That was a great show. You guys did fantastic. He's a wealth of knowledge for
It's
indie.
Marty. Honestly, we didn't do anything. We just let Marty talk. He's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, he's one of those people that I'm like, oh, I could move to New York and hang out with Marty.
Yeah, I could definitely kick it with Marty.
You know.
In fact,
Jake, do you have an affinity for Fantastic Four? Did you pick this or did we pick this? I don't remember.
I think I picked it just because the trailer had come out, but I do have. I'm gonna switch my camera really quick here. I do have this really cool book. Where are we at? Face cam. Which button are we at here? It's Jack Kirby's Fantastic Four.
Oh,
artist
hell
edition.
yeah.
Like the mini one.
Nice.
I couldn't afford the big one. But like, how can you beat any of this?
Yeah.
Whatever I do today is just going to be a pale comparison, to whatever this guy did. So
Yeah.
but I have this here. I'm like, this is going to be my inspiration, and hopefully I can make something of it. I remember being a kid and just not Jack Kirby just not clicking with me at all.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, because I was just like, who is this guy? It's dated, it's old, his faces are weird.
Yeah.
And I came to like comics maturity during the 90s, right? So give me all the lines, give me all the flashiness, give me
Right, of
bad
course.
story if there is story, and and
Right.
just make it cool, right? But it wasn't until like mid 30s, I would say, I read a biography on Jack Kirby, and it was the one published by Abrams Books. I don't know if you guys saw that one, but
I'm not sure.
anyway, it made me like, gave me context. Like, finally I understood why everybody revered him and loved him, and finally I understood like what he brought to comics. Like I studied my history essentially.
Right,
And
right. Isn't it funny
and
that when you study something, you learn, and you
yeah,
appreciate?
yeah. And so now I absolutely love the guy, and even more so because of his the humanity to his art, the wonkiness,
Mhm.
Yeah.
you know, it's all about capturing the energy of comics instead of anything else. And that made me actually appreciate Rob Liefeld even more too, because I feel like Rob
Nice.
was doing the same thing with his stuff.
Yeah. There's something about Rob that, like, Ed Piskor and Jim Rugg always said it really well on Kayfabe, where they were like, Rob's art looks like the art of the best artist in your high school. And when you see it, you think to yourself, I think I could do that too. I think I could draw too. You know, and it
Right.
in an encouraging way. Not
Yeah.
because, you know,
Right.
I there was a couple of kids I knew when I was young, older kids that were very good artists, and I didn't know how they were doing what they were doing, and it was sort of like off-putting to me. Like, I'll
Mhm.
never be good like that. But
Yeah.
but I think Rob's stuff had an approachability where you could sort of picture yourself being able to do that, you know, to do what he does.
Mhm.
Yeah,
know.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That makes perfect sense.
This last week, because I've been so focused on the graphic novel pro course, I was sitting there thinking, like, what are the main roadblocks people are having when they aren't doing comics, or they're stalling out on comics, their own comic stuff. And
Yeah.
so I don't know if you saw, but I posted a question on Instagram.
I
did it on
did.
YouTube, Instagram, and X. And I was
And I
just like,
saw
what
it
is
blew up.
yeah, what is the one thing you're like stopping you from doing comics? And I sorted through all the responses, and the number one response was time. Like, I just don't have enough time for it. And the second one, I think, was it's kind of like, I don't have motivation, or I lack motivation because I doubt my work, or I doubt myself, I doubt my abilities.
Yeah.
And then there was money was an issue. Like, I have to pay the bills, and comics don't pay, so I'm just not going to focus on comics. So those were like all the big ones. And then it went down through like the really good artists were like, I'm not really good at writing. And the people who were like not good at drawing were like, I'm not good at backgrounds and understanding perspective is what's holding me back, or drawing poses is what's holding me back. So it's just really interesting to see everyone's excuse.
Right.
And for me to like be like, okay, I have absolutely felt every one of those things. And so what I ended up doing this week was started recording a few YouTube videos that kind of address all that stuff, as a way to dip my toe back into YouTube. It's been about a year since I've done a video.
Oh wow.
And
Wow.
yeah. Well, I mean, I had, again, you have to make choices when
Right.
when you've got a bunch of stuff going on. And like this last year,
Definitely.
I did a graphic novel, 272 page graphic novel. I relaunched or helped relaunch SVS Learn, taught 2 comics workshops, like weekend workshops, and like finished building out my book, sending it off to printers, and shipping out all the books for my Kickstarter. So
Jeez.
Damn, man.
so when you factor, and then I also did like 2 or 3 cards for Lorcana for Disney. So when you factor in all that stuff, it's just like what is the best use of my time, and like YouTube videos were really low on my priority list.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
So
Jim, have you thought about like your year, like what you've done in a year? Like, have you ever looked back and be like, that's all I did this year? That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of had that with last year, and also gauging, like a year ago, man. In April, I made my trek out to Atlanta and hung out with you and Ali, and then after that, I went to Pittsburgh to see Jim Rugg and Tom Scioli, and that's when I made my decision to launch to do Savage Street Vigilante as a Kickstarter.
Right.
So that was exactly a year ago, and we're a year later. The book is done and out and being fulfilled and shipping to people's mailboxes. So that in itself, like the Kickstarter thing, and realizing I made it happen and put it into the world, like that's a pretty good gauge for me of like a year and big change happening, and a big sort of challenge that I took on for myself,
Right. And we started this show last year. On top of that, you started a brand new show.
I know, it's wild to think about.
this is I thought you guys had been doing it a little bit longer than that, but
No, we haven't even been doing it a year yet. Can you believe
that's crazy?
I know.
That's
We
crazy.
started it in June.
that's one of those things where you're like, hey guys, if you like, what's stopping you from doing something? Just start it.
Yeah, exactly.
If you just stick with it, it's going to grow.
Yeah, and when you figure it out as you go, I think people get trapped like trying to make it perfect before they do it. But Jim and I were just like, let's just figure it out as we go. We had a loose idea what it would be, and I remember after the first few shows, we'd have little meetings like, well, let's change this and let's focus on that, and it came together.
Yeah, I think it's evolved nicely because it's I enjoy having the guests on, and I enjoy getting other people's perspectives on all this stuff that we're talking about and working on. And then the solo shows are great as well because we can just kind of chill a bit, and that's more of like a hangout kind of thing. But I do like having all sorts of different pros on of varying degrees.
Me too. I like both sides of that. Yeah, I think it's important. Like when it's just me and you, we have a nice like chiller time connecting more with the community. And then we have a guest where it's like we're just learning so much through discussion.
Yeah. Also, every artist, every pro is sort of different in their approach to how they do all this stuff. So that's kind of the most interesting thing is hearing what people, how they're approaching all this stuff. And because man, like deadlines and actually getting what Jake's talking about, like actually getting the work done and everything, that really becomes an individual basis of like, well, how are you going to solve that problem? What's your approach going to be?
Right.
I know what my approach is, but I don't have kids, for example. So if you're married and you're doing this stuff, what's your schedule? I can't answer that because I don't have that. But if you're in this situation, what's your answer? What's your so
yeah.
Basically what I'm saying is it's just different across the board for everybody.
Yeah, I love that when Jake's like putting the class together, trying to figure out like what's the best way to do things. It's so smart, but so few people do this. And instead of sitting there racking his brain trying to figure it out, he's like, well, let me see what everyone else thinks, and ask the question online, and it goes nuts. I love that.
Right.
Yeah. What it showed me too, it's like it's, you know, it is on everybody's mind. I think everybody does have a comic in them. But it's one of those things where it's just like, where do I start? How do I even access that idea
Right.
in a way that matches my abilities and my skill?
Jake, based off what you just said, let me ask you a question. If you're an aspiring comic artist, aspiring storyteller, is there a tip you could give out on how do you make the decision of like what story you want to tell? Like, how do you pull the trigger on, say you're a kid with, you know, a sketchbook full of 3 or 4 different ideas. Like,
Yeah.
how do you,
Oh,
do you have a technique or something you'd recommend?
dude, strap in for this answer because
Oh
Jake blew
shit.
my
Okay.
mind
Okay.
with this.
Okay.
This
Oh,
is a
shit.
good one.
Okay.
Good question.
Okay. Okay. The main thing this is advice I give for everybody, even you, like if you've got this big comic idea, or you've got 500 ideas, the main thing I tell people to do is to make a short comic first. 5 pages, 4 pages, no more than 10 pages, but around that 5-page mark, right? And you're going to think, what, 5 pages? I can't fit a story in 5 pages. Yeah, you can. You can do, you can take one of your characters and show them experiencing some sort of moral dilemma and how they would handle it. And now you understand that character even better. And not only that, people who you might be familiar with you and familiar with their ideas get to see you actually put that into work.
Right.
The second like biggest thing is you really only learn how to do comics by doing comics, right? And so
Yeah, of course.
and it's all about like repetition. It's all about like going through the full cycle of making a comic that really teaches you, not starting a comic, drawing 5 pages or 10 pages, quitting halfway through your story and starting another one, and then going, and losing steam over that one and taking a break and then going back and trying it again, and realizing that your pages that you drew last year are like crap because you're a better artist now, and so now you feel like you got to redraw those. The thing that I want people to do is sit down, draw a 5-page story, start to finish, package it in a way that people can consume it. So whether that's making a PDF that someone can download, formatting it for like digital comics, webtoons or even Instagram or something like that, or printing an ash can or something really simple that you can like hand over to people at a Comic-Con, and then repeat the cycle. So you've done a 5-pager. Next one, do explore a little bit more of that world. Do a 6 or 7-page story. Next one, do a 10-page story and explore another aspect of that world, whether it's a character, whether it's an environment, like a location, what makes that location special. And essentially what you're doing is you're teaching yourself how to do comics. At the same time, you're building an audience for your work. At the same time, you're also like developing this world even more, because people really respond to finished stories more so than like concept art. And like, this is my idea that I've been working on, and someday it's going to be a real thing. Just go make the real thing, and and start small and then build up from there. And if nobody responds to these short stories, then maybe you should go try out one of your other ideas. But if people are like, whoa, this is really cool, I want to see more, then lean into it and like see where it goes.
That's awesome, man. And also with that short story, you get to, in a short amount of space and time, you get to play around with that character you're working with and see how they move, see how they act on a page. Maybe the design of the character isn't great, and by doing that, short story, you learn like, oh, the character's not moving correctly, or this part of their outfit doesn't work. And so you can kind of quickly adapt and make changes without having to commit to like, well, shit, I have 20 more pages of this to draw. So.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got
That's great advice.
The other thing is I came up with this acronym called the STAR method, and it stands for spark, thread, arrange, and rock and roll. Okay, and I'll dig into that a little bit deeper. So this is the process I want you to do for your short comic, your mini comic, and I want you to spark the fire, right? So write down everything that like inspires you. I call it make the list of cool, but it's like you write down the things that you think are cool. You write down the character situations you want to explore, or the moral dilemmas you want to explore with your characters. You put together a folder of like cool reference, a mood board of sorts, and you just kind of like wrap your head around it. It's really like playtime. So anytime you're like stuck, I don't know what to do, just work on the spark, right? And figure out what is going to make you excited to do this comic. Okay.
Right.
Then once you've done that, you're going to start threading a story through all those like pieces that you've been putting together, everything that's been inspiring you. And you start threading that story and seeing, okay, wait, I've got this really cool image of like a cat, like a giant cat. What could I use that cat for? Oh, it could be like a mentor. It's like a wizard trapped in a cat's body. Okay, that's a cool idea because I did want to have a wizard in this story, right? So now you're threading a story through all these inspirations that you've been collecting. And then the next step, a lot of times people are like, well, I gotta jump into start finishing comic pages, right? And the advice I give is to arrange, that's the A in the STAR, is arrange the layouts. I don't want you worried about finished art at this point. I don't want you thinking about how it's going to get like finished and polished and printed. What I want you to do is focus on the scope of the story and how you can arrange that story in those 5 pages or in those 10 pages, and just go and dig in and start doing all the layouts really rough, like stick figure rough. Okay. And then once you've got that done, because that's honestly, you guys know this, like layouts is hard. It's where you really have to like you have to think, you got to tell this story.
Yeah, layouts are no joke.
Yeah.
Right.
Layouts for me, I always say it's like the homework phase. It's like I can't have movies or anything on. I may be very low instrumental music, but I'm thinking, I'm usually frustrated. And
so
I'm
true.
you're like learning as you're doing it. You're really, it can be awkward. It can be, even after doing it as long as I have, it can be a painful phase.
Yeah.
So
and that's why I leave layouts for, like do that once you've got a story kind of figured out, you've got your inspiration and your reference. So that every time you're like feeling like this is a drag and this is a slog, you can just go back to that stuff and polish it a little bit more to make sure that your layouts are you're not getting like too drained by doing layouts. The thing though is with this thing is you start with inspiration, you do the hard stuff in the middle because you've got this boost, right? You don't want to start with the hard stuff. And then once your layouts are done, drawing the comic page is actually like so fun. And so that's where you get to rock and roll, right? Like that's where you get to do the cool character designs. You get to draw like Spider-Man over the 3-point perspective, like city, and just like lean into all the fun stuff. And once you've got all that hard stuff out of the way, you can actually sit down, like say you just have a half hour at lunch to work on your comic, pull up one of your layouts, You already did the hard stuff, and now just start working on a panel for that comic page, and like I said, just rock and roll on it. And that's the STAR method. So it's spark, thread, arrange, and rock and roll. And I say do it with like a short story first, and then work your way up to doing longer and longer stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah. If
Sorry,
you guys needed,
just before you guys move on, we got a $10 super chat from Adam Archer. He said,
Ah.
yeah. Thanks, Adam.
Thanks
All
for
right,
sharing your
Adam.
knowledge,
Good to
boys.
see ya.
He said.
Adam is a badass artist, you guys. Incredible
Yeah.
cartoonist. Check him out online if you're not following him. He
Really knows his
he's
stuff.
amazing. He's amazing. Thank you, Adam.
And guys, after hearing Jake speak, I don't know what more you need to know about why you should take this class.
Right. Yeah. I mean, come on. I love that you broke it down into a formula, man. You gotta have it that way, you know.
Yeah, Jake, you're really good at like breaking things down into action steps, like with an acronym, or you have these like workbook sheets you make. They're all really impressive and well thought out.
That is because I have like a hot mess of a brain. and in order for me to function, I have to do that. Like I have to just figure out and understand how things work at a level like that. And so I just figured, like, if that's where I'm at, then that's where maybe other people are at too. And and so that's why I break it down like that.
That's awesome. I'm one of the weirdos who, like, when my layouts were done and like working, I that was like, for me, a lot of times the fun part.
Yeah.
Like I was like, can we just publish these and I'll move on to the next one?
Right. I know. I was talking to Scotty Young once about making comics, and he was like, I hate drawing after I've been writing, because I feel like I imagine it in my head so detailed during the writing process that I feel like I'm just like redoing it over and over again with the pencil, the layouts, then the penciling, then the inking.
Right.
And he's like, I just get sick of it.
Yeah.
Sick of it by then.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I did feel like, I mean, my thumbnails are very tight, so I did feel like I was like drawing it again to some extent. But I mean, the drawings I liked when the layouts were really solid, because it meant my shapes were like working. So drawing after that was always fun, because I felt like the hard part of the drawing was done at that point.
That's the challenge, man, of making comics, is trying to keep, if you're writing and drawing all your own stuff, keeping every phase of it for yourself exciting and engaging.
Right.
You know, so I've just kind of had to like trick myself into thinking like, oh great, I have a full week of layouts and penciling to do. Like that's fine. That, you know, because really I just want to ink. You know, I just want to add the flavor.
You want to jam. You want to rock and roll.
I want to go great. I just want to rock and roll all the time.
Yeah.
You know, but it doesn't work that way. You know.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's one of the things we get into, like in Graphic Novel Pro. We just go into like deep mode of what I talked about here, where it's like, okay, now how do you actually write a story? What if I'm no good at writing stories? How do you do it? And we've got a process where any moron could write a really good story. You know, like if I can write a good story, you can write a good story.
You know, it's funny. There's so much truth to that. I remember when I was talking to Shawn Murphy, when he decided to just go write his own stuff. He basically looked at the landscape of books and writers out there. Was like, I can do at least as good as what most of these people are doing.
Yeah.
Because none of it was very inspiring.
Right. Yeah. Yep. And I think sometimes you get this like sort of stuck in sort of these bad mental loops where you're like, well, I wasn't really good at doing this at one point, and nothing's changed, so maybe, you know, I won't be good at this in the future.
Right.
And you forget that you can actually learn and grow and improve if you just try it, you know.
Yeah, you know that I had a good lesson yesterday. Tattooing a very difficult tattoo, and I wasn't feeling completely confident about it. But it reminded me that what I had was my past with inking with a brush.
Yeah.
That I remember when I first started inking with a brush, and it just felt like such a foreign tool to draw with, and I was terrible at it. I was like, this is just gonna always suck. But I kept at it, and then I got really comfortable with it. And so feeling that the other day, I was just able to tell myself, oh, this is the process. Just keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you just kind of have to overcome, you know, you just have to kind of
just keep going.
Yeah.
It's all about the journey.
Yeah, the planning, man. It's funny. I was having like flashbacks to when I was in college, and there was a short period of time where I was talking to Slave Labor Graphics, Dan Votto, the president and owner.
Yeah.
I sent him my self-published Girl Scouts books that I had made in like 1995. And there was a very short period of time where Dan was talking to me about possibly doing the book at Slave Labor.
Oh,
and
wow.
I was so, you know, young and dumb and naive that I was kind of like, okay, well, great, let's do that. And then I'll just start the book and send you pages as they come along, as they evolve. And he was like, well, wait a minute, kid. Like, well, what's the story? What like, are you doing, we're going to do like a mini series? Like what's the story? And at the time I had just only done like short stories with the characters. So for me, it's so laughable now, but I was like, well, I just start writing and drawing, and then I just make the book as I go along. And he just laughing on the phone and was like, oh my God, dude, you young cartoonists are so hilarious. He's like, you don't make a book like that. You don't a comic. And he's like, you have to plan it. He's like, if you did that for your comics you sent me, he's like, that's great. Like you pulled it off with these little short stories. But yeah, if we're gonna be in business together, if we're gonna work together, I would need a script and a issue breakdown. And it's the most obvious common sense stuff now, of course. But at what was I, like 20 at the time, 19, 20, you know, it just, I've always been very spontaneous with a lot of my art making, decision making, inking techniques, but that doesn't really work with writing and and you know what I mean? You have to switch your brain to planning mode, and you know, so
well, there's actually like, there's two kinds of writers, and I think you need a little bit of both. And that's the architects and the gardeners. And the architects are the planners. They go in and they're like, before I build this building, we're going to do blueprints. We're going to, we're going to do little scale models, and we're going to like figure out exactly all the resources that we need so we can order those ahead of time. Right. And that's how they're figuring out their stories. And then you've got the gardeners who are like, I've got 20 seeds here. I'm just going to plant them, water them, and we'll see where they grow, you know, and see how big they get. And apparently Stephen King is one of a gardener type, where he can just start a story not knowing how to end it.
Wow.
And then just find his way along the path. But I kind of feel like the best is have a plan, know where you're going to end up, you know kind of how you want to start things, but then just let it grow in the middle. And I think you get some good stuff that way.
Yeah.
Just quickly, guys. Sorry to interrupt. We got a $20 Australian super chat from Lauren Marshall.
I was going to say, is that Lauren? Thank you, Lauren.
She
That's
said,
awesome.
Jake, super insightful and breaking it down in SMART goals. Very true about seeing the level up through pages. Saw it in my recent project, but kind of like that evolution. Thanks for inspiring. So pumped now.
Awesome.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
Hell
Lauren,
yeah.
thank you so much. Keep up the
Yeah,
killer
thank you,
work.
Lauren. Yeah,
Jake,
Lauren's a badass.
she's great. Jake, on your thing with the Stephen King thing, like I think I've read and seen interviews with him where I think he's kind of like a character, like he puts character first in a lot of his stories, right? So he'll figure out the character, establish the character, who's usually a writer in most of his work. And then the character and the character's actions sort of help dictate what is going to happen, you know, like what is actually the beats of the story.
Right.
I mean, obviously Stephen King is a genius, so he knows how to do that.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, if you really, really know a character, plop them into an environment, you can kind of just see what happens, and it. I don't want to say it will write itself, but it sort of will unfold.
Yeah, you got to know, you really have to know your character. And I don't mean like what they eat for breakfast, but like what would your character do, you know, in the trolley situation. There's 5 people strapped to one track, and on the other track is, I don't know, something they love, like their dog, their pet dog, or their career or something like that. And which lever do they pull the lever to, like, destroy their career but save the people, or do they pull the lever to save their career and destroy the people? That's the kind of intimate knowledge you've got to know about your character. And a lot of times people get caught up in like, tell me about your character. Well, he hates Mondays, and
Right.
and he loves, his coffee made this way, and he wants his martini shaken, not stirred. And all that stuff is good, like little extra things, but what you got to know your character, like what they're going to do in certain situations. That's why you do those little like mini stories where you can explore something like that.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, there's a certain confidence with knowing how to approach all of that stuff. I wrote my Kickstarter book, my Savage Street Vigilante book. I did that sort of like a Marvel method where I made an outline for myself of what happens in the beginning, middle, and end of the book.
Yeah.
And then I was able to make scenes, like fight scenes, where I wasn't quite sure how many pages the fight scene was going to be, but that allowed me to play, add and subtract, maybe do a splash page here and there. But that wasn't that decision making on the fly with that method there was no risk of me ruining the story by doing it that way.
Right.
Because I had the skeleton of like, well, the beginning, middle, and end is definitely this. And then this definitely has to happen. Can I play around a little bit with mood and art and dramatic imagery and crazy visuals while I'm making these decisions and getting to these big points? Yes, I can. But that requires thought, like while you're on the page and while you're doing those layouts,
Yeah. So Jake, do you script when you write your stories? Do you script them, or do you get an outline and thumbnail?
I usually get an outline, and then I will write like key dialogue, right? So dialogue that really shows like characters, insight in the character change, what their any sort of plot centric dialogue, right? So I'll throw that in the outline, and then I'll put in the outline like Skull Chaser escapes. There's an explosion. Skull Chaser escapes and ducks into the sewers underneath, right? Like that's as far as I'll go, and then I'm figuring out on the page, is this going to be 5 panels to show him do that? Is it going to be 2 panels to show him do that? And then I kind of do that exploration there.
Gotcha.
That's awesome. Yep.
Dude, let me see this Reed Richards you're crushing on.
Right. So this
Oh,
is,
yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
yeah. The idea here is that it's, I don't know, it's like a post-apocalyptic or some other planet. Reed Richards. He's trapped. He's been on an alien planet for 30 years and his arm got chopped off, so he had to make a robot arm to replace it. He's gathering crystals for like energy so that he can use it to spark, the fuel in his ship to get back to Earth or something like that. I don't know.
Well, damn, you just thought up the whole story.
Dude, that's awesome.
Now, and this is my experience with Jake. Whenever we do something, he creates a story, and I'm like, well, now you have to draw that book. Like every idea he has.
How fun would that be? That'd be a cool.
Yeah,
that would be a cool comic.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
Fan fiction done right.
Yeah.
Jim, how's your piece coming?
I'm having a blast, dude. I got Silver Surfer, Sue Storm, and a crazy deformed thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love it.
That's awesome. Dude, you're jamming.
I love it, man.
Yeah, I'm having a good
great.
Dude, the last couple of days I've been working on this cover, and the last couple of days I've been like really just jamming out in studio, like just really laying down some ink and not hesitating, so I'm in like a pretty good groove these days. Like, when you just feel things are clicking in studio, it's like, it's like sometimes it doesn't click. And I've just been in that ink zone. I'm not sure how else to describe it, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. You're in the groove.
Yeah.
You're in the zone. Actually,
this is
my
thanks
therapist
for
referred to-
inviting me to do this, because I don't ever draw for fun anymore.
oh man.
Oh damn.
Yeah. Honestly, that's my favorite part about this show is we get to just have fun drawing. Like it's not a project, it's not a deadline. It's just, hey, I want to try something and have fun chatting while I do so.
Yeah.
And hopefully
Shawn,
people
you're
are.
inking, man.
Oh yeah, dude,
Oh, thank you.
So
you know, I messed up like all of like I said, I was a little intimidated with the Human Torch because I wasn't sure I was going to handle all this, and I went way too black right here. My brush wasn't dry enough, so now I got to find a way out of that. Which I have some ideas floating. I was actually going to ask you, Jim, because you put white down and then you smear it with your finger.
Yeah.
I was going to try something like that, or I was going to splatter like toothbrush white into that area. It might look good too.
Yeah. That's where I would do that kind of Sienkiewicz whiteout pen technique over that black field, Shawn.
Yeah. How do you do that?
I can show it to you in a second. Hold on.
Yeah. You don't have to show me right now, but that would be actually it'd be good for the show for people to see that, and I would like to try it out.
Oh, Shawn, I was going to ask you, did you finish that Lobo piece that you started?
I have not had a chance to finish it yet. It's
okay.
sitting right next to me.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm going to post it when I finish it. Definitely.
Yeah, because there's some mark making on that thing that needs to be seen through, man. You need to finish that bad boy.
I agree. Yeah, that was a good piece. I love working that big. I'm trying to. The thing is, I now have 2 pieces that big that need to be finished from our show, and with all the lack of time I've had, I was like, I need to.
I know.
Focus on some smaller pieces right now.
Oh, dude, I'm still trying to finish that My Love and Rockets piece.
Yeah,
That-
me
that-
too. Me too.
Oh, and Shawn, I guess we should say huge thanks to everyone who came out and said hey to us at Kansas City Planet
Oh,
Comic Con.
definitely. That was
Well,
awesome. Yeah.
I was going to ask you guys,
What's up?
what I haven't been to like a real Comic-Con in a few years. I've been to like Tucson Comic-Con, which is barely a Comic-Con. It was like come get your cosplay and your fan art t-shirts and
Yeah, but that's what Comic-Cons have become.
okay,
lot
that's
of
what I want to know. Like what's the vibe out there?
It's a lot of that. But there are like Heroes Con will always be like a good art show.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And
That's
OAX
the
is
one
a
in
great
North Carolina.
that's the Charlotte one. And OAX is a really great show just celebrating the art of comics. So you can't even buy back issues there. It's just comic art. That's it.
Oh wow.
There's no cosplay, no pop figures, none of it. It's just art. So that's a pretty cool show. But you know, it's like with New York, the Artist Alley area is like a great Comic-Con into itself. But then if you leave Artist Alley, it's all the stuff you're talking about on a massive scale.
Mhm.
Yeah. New York is always my best show every year consistently, just for the sheer number of people that walk into the building. You know, like
oh yeah.
just sheer numbers brings me the most enthusiastic fans, the highest energy show.
Yeah.
So you do, like Shawn said, you do have the distractions of all the stuff upstairs of like video games and tchotchkes and
Mhm.
whatnot. But the people that show up to go to that artist alley and actually buy comics and buy original art is still, I think, fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So-
agree. That's a must-do show every year for us.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But honestly, man, for American comic book shows, I think it's kind of universally known that Heroes Con is sort of still the old standard of this is just a glorious place for people to go that love comic books. You know,
Gotcha.
original art, comic books, everyone is in a good mood. Everyone's celebrating the art. And it just feels like a warm family reunion.
Mhm.
And you just feel welcome there, and you're not, and as an artist, you're not competing with like the green Power Ranger for people's money, you know, like
Yeah.
you know, you don't have people come up to your table being like, I wish I could support your art and your comics, but I spent $450 buying the green Power Ranger autograph pack, which includes the Power Ranger posing with me and my dog. And
Yep.
we get a Power Ranger limited edition keychain and a photo. And it's like people spend their money on these things. So maybe we're the out of touch ones. I don't know. But,
Yeah, maybe.
but I don't think so.
Yeah, it's the pop culture. They're pop culture cons.
Right. Although I hear Baltimore is really good. I haven't been, but I'm going to try it this year.
Yeah, but I do think Baltimore is still legit. And then, you know, Shawn, did you do shit? What was the other East Coast one?
What are you talking about? Terrificon?
Was that Washington?
No. Oh, Awesome Con in Washington?
Oh,
Is that what
that's Washington. Okay.
Yeah. Terrificon's the one in Connecticut at the casino.
That's right.
I like that show. That's like
okay.
that's like an old school comic book show.
Okay.
It's like aisle after aisle of long boxes to dig through. They have some celebrity guests, but it's small, and they do focus a lot on the artists. I like that show.
That's cool.
Nice. But Jake, if you can do it, I highly recommend going to Italy for Lake Como.
Yeah, Lake
For the
Como is
experience of a lifetime.
What's the show in Italy?
It's just Lake Como Art Festival, and it's like OAX out here in America. It's just original comic book art.
Oh,
but
wow.
it's like the legends, like Jim and I were standing next to Milo Manara and Liberatori and Simon Bisley and Kevin Eastman.
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy. It was
That's
crazy.
incredible.
I
Dude,
highly recommend it if you can do
I
it.
saw Frank Quitely's going this year. I would have loved to have seen some of that.
Do you like? How do I do that so I don't have to pay for it?
Oh, you have to. They hardly bring anyone in for that one.
So
That like when Jim and I went, we paid for it.
Yeah, dude.
And
I straight up invited myself, and they were like, "Sure, you can be a guest, but can you pay for all your shit?" And I said, "Yes, I can."
okay.
But that's how they do most everyone. There's really very, very few people that get that shit paid for.
And then what is what's the economics of it? Like, how much does?
Well, that's the thing, is you can make you can make, like, I saw a lot of artists I know making well over 10-20 grand that weekend. I did not, but I saw plenty of people that did.
And what are they? Are they just selling original art? Are they doing commissions?
All of it. Commissions. Like, original art is the big ticket stuff, but everyone was doing commissions mostly.
And are people like essentially just filling up a carry-on with their art?
Yes, but I have an
over.
art dealer, so he did that. But yes,
Gotcha.
People are bringing, like, their best of their best big ticket item stuff.
That's cool, man. I've only really been to Spain. I went to England once, but it was so quick. It was like a business trip, but I would love to check out more of what's going on out there.
Yeah, I recommend it. I've been to Italy 4 times now. And I just can't get enough of it.
Man. Yeah, we that was like a treat, though. That was like a treat of
that was incredible.
Being in the industry for a long time and being like, well, if I have to go to Italy, if I have to cover all my own stuff, I'm just gonna go for it. All my friends are going.
Right, yeah.
I'll just show up and basically
it's essentially
mooch my way in. Just
it's a European vacation, but it's offset by whatever you can make.
Right. Yeah, because we spent a solid week in Como before the convention even started.
Right. Yeah, if you're going
Jake, if you can get away with your wife, your family, or whatever, I mean, you make that like a trip out of it, and just eat pasta all day, and
oh, dude,
enjoy the scenery. It's a gorgeous. It's like something straight out of a movie, So
it is. That's where Padme's house was in that one of those Star Wars movies.
Someone was telling me, is it the scene where he's like, I don't like sand?
Yeah.
Yes. That's it. Yes, that's it. Yeah.
There's a spot in Spain where I've been to, which is where they filmed Naboo, like some scenes in Naboo as well. And it really is remarkable. Like, I couldn't believe it was someone built it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, Jim, you got to show me this white trick, because I'm ready for it whenever you are.
Okay. Shawn, this is shocking. I'm laying down some paint, dude.
Oh, look at you with the color.
Because I
is it watercolor?
This is gouache.
Oh, nice.
But I did such a super simple drawing that I planned tonight I just wanted to be able to like actually do some color stuff.
Hell yeah.
Which I rarely get to do. So super simple. I literally have yellow, blue for Sue's outfit, and orange for the thing. Nothing super complicated, but still fun to be able to rock a little color.
Yeah. I dig it.
Thanks, man.
Ginger Bear House Studio had a business question that I want to address.
Okay.
Do you guys claim your commissions on your taxes? If I get paid cash and I don't deposit it into my business account, no, I won't. But anything that goes into my business account, it gets claimed.
Gotcha.
What about you guys?
Same. I think I found a tax loophole this year, which was nice.
What's that? Do tell.
So I usually every year will spend several thousand on like what would you call it? Contract work. Like
Yeah.
I hired a guy to help color my Kickstarter book.
Right.
I have an assistant who manages like the Inktober account.
Right.
And what I found out was I also have like pay a lawyer for like contract stuff, and I have an agent who like negotiates and does contracts and things like that. But I've always paid them as professional services or reported as professional services.
Yeah.
And this year I was like, what exactly qualifies as professional services? Because if you pay someone over $600, I think, then they have to do a W-9, and that gets they report the money, and I have to report that I paid them, and just to keep everything above board. And if it's professional services, you don't have to report anything. It's just a business expense. And so I went and looked it up, and I realized that my colorist was professional services.
Oh, nice.
So he was like, where's my W-9 this year? Or W-2 or whatever it is. I forget the numbers. And I was like, oh, I just reported you as professional services, so it's not coming. He's like, oh, okay.
All right.
Wow. I like it.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah. So I will let you know in a couple months whether or not I go to jail.
Right. Yeah. I was gonna say, let me know, because I've hired my daughter as my assistant to do stuff. I have a designer that does a lot of stuff. And
the thing is, the difference between a contractor and a professional service is a contractor is like a somebody that I want to say that you're hiring to do specific work that you're giving very precise feedback on. Like, I need you to do this for me in this way. And professional services is they have a job to do. They know how to do their job, and you really don't give any input on. Like, you don't tell your lawyer how to do his job, right? You don't tell your agent how to do their job. And I realized that with my colorist, like, I just let him cook. Like, here's the pages.
That's exactly what I do with my designer, because he's so good. I'm just like, look, just do your thing.
So, and I looked it up. They didn't list, book designer or colorist, but they did list like an architect. If you hire an architect, that's professional services.
Okay.
So I consider that fair play or fair game, whatever.
Nice.
I like the way you think.
And if what we're saying is incorrect and illegal, Jamie, you're gonna have to cut this whole section of the podcast out.
Let's just do a disclaimer really quick. Do not take legal advice from 3 comic artists.
That is
live stream.
a great. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that.
Good call, Jake.
Yeah.
Do not take advice from 3 dum-dums who draw cartoons all day.
Yeah, this
We
is
just got a $5 super chat from Comic
Thank you,
Tropes.
Chris.
Comic Tropes.
I want to give a nice shout out to Chris at Comic Tropes and Dave, because they've been so supportive of everything we've been doing with Kickstarters and our shows. It's really awesome to have you guys like have our backs like that. And Chris, what you did for Jim's book when you did your comics you picked up that week was incredible. And Dave, the same thing.
Shit, yeah.
Amazing. Just amazing.
Yes, I needed to thank you, Shawn. I needed to publicly thank Chris for that. I texted him the following day, but yeah, not this Monday, but last Monday, Shawn was hanging out at my place. We were getting ready to eat dinner. I turn on YouTube and I see Chris's weekly spinner rack show in the thumbnail has my Savage Street Vigilante Kickstarter book. So we
It was awesome.
pop it on, we hit play. Chris does a fantastic review of the book, which I paid him to do that review. And what did I say? And it was awesome. It was a really nice surprise. It was cool, man. So thank you, Chris.
And what Ramon did was crazy.
Oh yeah, and then Ramon Perez cosplayed as me this week.
Yes. By cosplay, you mean put on shades and tried to talk like you for about 10 seconds.
It was
awesome.
I'll take it, man. I'm flattered by all of it.
Yeah, that was amazing. I love Ramon.
I'll take it.
I love seeing everyone supporting each other the way they are right now, with like the creative, like creating their own stuff and having each other's back. It's great.
That's the future of all of it, right? I mean, that's
for sure.
We kind of all have to stick together on all this crazy stuff, man.
Yeah, we do. Definitely.
I heard one of the most depressing things I've ever heard today.
Oh no, what's that?
Okay, I listened to. Do you know Ezra Klein? He's a opinion guy for New York Times.
Yeah,
really good conversation with Jonathan Haidt about.
I know him too.
Yeah, about like child development, the impact of technology and smartphones and that.
I've heard stuff from this.
And really, it came out this week, and I recommend anybody, if you've got a kid or you know kids, to just like listen to this conversation. But towards the end of it, they start talking about AI, and Ezra Klein. I don't know why he divulged this or that he felt comfortable divulging this, but he's like, yeah, for fun, me and my kids will, we will go on ChatGPT and have it write bedtime stories, and then we'll tell it to like make pictures, do the illustrations for the bedtime stories. And
oh boy,
if that isn't the most dystopian garbage you've ever heard of, I was just like,
lame. That's fucking lame.
Dude, it's so lame. I mean, honestly, my whole marketing campaign, the whole thing with my art book is to combat that mindset. It's like the art book and my Kickstarter are all about the craft, the decisions I'm making, the work I put in, the colors I choose, like everything. And I'm calling it the anti-AI art book.
Yeah,
but it's you're just seeing it's everywhere. It's just everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gross. The Studio Ghibli portrait thing came out and blew up this week. Like that's like, leave Miyazaki alone.
Yeah, leave him out of this. He's
been against this for a long time.
Right. Golly. Yeah, so sorry to
oh no, man,
bring that up, but that's
no. It's look, I think it's a good thing to talk about, and I mean, I think like one thing that's given me a lot of hope is a lot of the members of this community who are on the younger side, are really into tactile art, craft, learning techniques, and it's honestly one of the big things I'm aiming to do with both this and the podcast is collect and just have like a historical document of artists and how they create things and like little tricks they do. Like, hey, if you take the brush and push it down and it frays out, you can get like a rake effect from a brush. Like, it's not just go into your toolbox and Procreate and pick it. It's no, this is how it was done. And and I see a real interest in that stuff from the younger kids coming up. So
yeah,
I have hope for that.
One of the things he did bring up in there, he's like, everyone's using like ChatGPT now for, or not necessarily that, but like AI for research, because instead of paying an intern to like go look up 500 articles on the thing that you're trying to write research for a paper news article or something, you can just say, hey, I need 100 articles that talk about this particular subject matter, and kind of summarize each one of them for me so that I can go through and like not waste my time reading stuff
Right.
that is going to apply, right? And what's interesting is that's happening in so many different professions.
Yes.
And he's like, your kids are probably better off in this future like learning how to become electricians than becoming contract attorneys,
Right.
Oh,
right.
right. Yeah.
Because we're still going to need electricians. Toilets are still going to get clogged.
Right.
Lawns are still going to need to be mowed. And like the other day I needed a contract, or just like an agreement. And so I went to ChatGPT and I was like, hey, here's the terms. Can you just help me like write something? And instead of paying my lawyer, I had it like, I had it just,
Jake, what are you doing?
I mean, I didn't have $500 to burn.
I know.
Right.
But that's where we're all gonna get hit, is the convenience and ease and cost efficiency of it all. That's a hard thing to argue against.
Listen, am I using ChatGPT to hire my artists or my musicians? No. My lawyers, I don't care if they
Okay, good point. Fair.
Business.
Fair. They're fine. Oh, Jim, you're crushing it, dude.
More color.
Bingo.
This is not the lighting, man. Well, the colors you're seeing are not the actual colors.
Oh,
like
I'm
the
sure.
lighting here.
Well, we're still using webcams. One day when we
Yeah.
get when Inkpulp Live is like huge, we'll be able to afford like super dope cameras for this.
Right.
Yeah, man. I'm still trying to figure out like the proper lighting setup for, because if I put too much light, like if I go like that, it blows out the image,
it's a
right?
webcam. I mean, even though these are good webcams, like really good webcams, they're still webcams. That's why I've been asking Jamie about. Actually, it is a webcam, but it takes different lenses, so it can handle all the color and lighting much better.
Nice.
But that thing's like $1,000 without the lenses. But I think I'm gonna get one maybe this summer.
Oh, Chris, remember to watch Robot Jocks tonight, he said. Okay. Are we recording, Chris, are we recording tomorrow, right? Tomorrow's Thursday. I don't know what day it is anymore.
I know. I feel like every day is recording something because it is.
We're in it now. We're in this YouTube.
Oh yeah. We're in. We're
tomorrow
lost in
night.
the
Yes.
matrix.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Oh, Jim, I have to tell you, Garth Marenghi's Dark Place has become a massive hit in my kids' lives. They just can't believe this exists.
Speaking of Chris, yeah, I mean that show.
Is
Garth Marenghi, horror writer, Dreamweaver,
Jake,
Dreamweaver.
That's what. Jake, do you know about this show?
No, what are you talking about?
Oh my god, dude!
Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. Jim, you should explain it because you explained it to me so well. I tried to explain it to the kids, and they were like, "Huh?" I was like, "Just watch it."
Oh, geez. So this was a show. It's a British show,
right?
It's a British show, and there's an actor who's playing a fake horror writer named Garth Marenghi, right?
Okay.
So the story is this fake writer, Garth, he had his own TV show in the 80s called Dark Place.
A fake show from a
And
fake writer.
so there's 6 episodes of this fake show
Mm.
on YouTube, and Dark Place, it's like a haunted hospital where he is like a doctor and a paranormal investigator, and he's hysterical. I can't remember the name of the actor that plays Garth. Matt Berry is also in it. Matt is a genius actor, musician. Matt's in the thing, What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah.
He's brilliant. So the show, Jake, looks like a shitty 80s TV show, and
Yeah.
in each
Like
episode,
as low budget as you can picture.
yeah.
Oh, nice.
And in each episode, they show the full episode, but the episodes are also interrupted by this character Garth and the other actors commenting on the show.
That's
So that
brilliant.
there's a bit of The Office in it, the British Office, where
Uh-huh.
Garth Marenghi almost feels like at times Ricky Gervais, what was his name? Brent or whatever, David Brent, where he's so serious and he thinks the show that they've made is so good and so
Mhm.
edgy. And then it cuts back to the show in progress and the show's a piece of shit, but
Yeah.
it's great, dude. It's brilliant. It's really, really funny. And I had heard about this show, but I do this show with Chris from Comic Tropes called Trash Movie Bonanza on YouTube. And we reviewed the totally shitty 90s Spawn movie.
Uh-huh.
And during the review, we were talking about the 90s Spawn cartoon on HBO. And I don't know if you remember this, Jake, but
Yeah.
there'd be segments where Todd McFarlane would introduce the cartoons each week.
Okay.
And he'd be like darkly lit in like a chamber somewhere. And he'd be like, "Hey, bud, I'm Todd McFarlane. What evil lurks in the hearts?" So, it was like, what?
Yeah.
And so Chris was like, so McFarlane's segments of him talking remind me of Garth Marenghi. And I'm like, what Garth Marenghi? And he's like, "Oh, fuck, dude, you got to watch this." So this started this whole Dark Place thing that
Yeah.
everyone else has known about. And Shawn and I just discovered it like literally a week ago or 2 weeks ago.
I gotta check this out.
It's
This
brilliant.
sounds
And so,
great.
man, the whole thing is on YouTube. It's 6 episodes, but it's so silly. It's so well done. And when you really pay attention to the episodes,
Mhm.
they do have worked so hard to make it this crappy.
I
It's hilarious.
I appreciate
check
it.
it out. I hate to interrupt, but I just realized it's dinner time. So
Oh, okay. All right.
I
Yeah,
gotta
man, if you have to go.
I gotta take off. Let me
All
let me
good.
show you
Thanks
the
for
final
coming on,
here.
Jake. Yeah, let me
Dude, that's
see. what we got
badass.
going.
That
Yeah,
looks
that
so
looks
good.
great. Yeah, I got to see that book now.
Ugh, thanks for giving me this opportunity, and I'll see you guys around.
Dude,
All
this
right,
is
thanks
so
for
awesome.
coming on,
Jake, thank you for always being around and dropping serious knowledge on all of us. We all appreciate it.
Definitely.
You're great, man. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. Keep on rocking, and we'll see you. Hopefully, we can do this again soon, sometime.
Definitely, man.
Definitely.
Anytime,
Bye,
buddy.
Later.
Take care, man.
See ya.
Bye-bye. Oh, shit. There you go, dude.
Yeah, I just went for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's working.
Yeah.
It's working.
I didn't realize we're already an hour and a half in.
I know.
7:30.
When it goes so fast. All right, cool. Leo. All right. So let me.
But before I forget, though, did your kids
Yeah, go ahead.
see the
the eyeball.
the eyeball?
No, I keep
assault
telling them.
episode?
They keep telling me how awesome this is. Like, have you seen the eyeball yet? They're like, no. I'm like, it's the best. You're just gonna lose your mind. It takes
Oh my
everything to
God.
another level when the eyeball comes in.
The funniest shit is you were staying here for a week, and every night, obviously we're like stoned or whatever, and that episode comes on, and you're like, wait, what's going on now? Like, I'm in the other room.
I know. I was like, Jim, what's happening?
Yeah. It's like, oh, you're on that episode. Strap in. It's
Yeah, that was wild, man.
gonna be a wild ride.
Yeah, that was totally wild.
Good shit, man.
West Coast Avengers in the chat saying, did I ever show you guys my involuntary Human Torch art piece?
No. What is this? What is this you speak of, Dave?
Tell us more.
I need to see this, Dave. Send me it.
Dave and I have been talking about going to a podcast conference
Oh shit.
just to see what it's like, see what we can learn.
When does that happen?
I don't know. Dave and I found one. I think it's in Dallas at the end of the summer. I think, and we haven't like locked into one yet, but we're just looking and talking about it. But if you want to go, I think it would be good to just go, like, hear people talk about, like, some, like, it wouldn't hurt to hear about like technical stuff. I know Jamie is a wizard, but just I'm always wrestling with technical stuff, or like thumbnails, like how to make a proper thumbnail, or just things that like we just jump into this, right? This whole live streaming thing. Like, no one showed us how to do this. Jamie guided us a lot, but like at this point it's going well. We're like, well, what if I learned a little bit? Could we make the show better? Could we do anything better? Is there, or even to just meet people in that like podcasting community and like help each other expose other people to shows might be cool. Just a thought. Oh, Dominic.
Dominic Glover.
Dominic, thank you so much. Dominic is our friend who, Jim, we were talking about this with Mateo. He, on the podcast, every episode, he puts a time code on when we stop talking bullshit and start talking about comics.
Yeah, dude. Dominic, we love you, dude. You're
Dominic's awesome.
Listen, so Shawn, in this wild, crazy world we live in, Dominic is the only one with sense enough in his brain to cut through all the bullshit and let people actually know what's going on. So, thank you, Dominic.
Yes, definitely.
Dominic asked, what number do you want your pre-launch Kickstarter to be at before you launch?
I'd like to hit 1,000. That's the golden number.
Yep.
That's what you were aiming for, right, Jim?
Yeah.
And if the people want to sign up, scan that QR code or hit the link in the description.
Yes, please. Yeah. Thank you, Jamie. But, we've got another like 4 weeks to get the numbers up there. I've got a large marketing campaign, lots of advertisement reels coming out. So hopefully that helps. But anything you guys can do to spread the word would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, man. It'll build. It'll build up. Once you take it to the streets, once you start, getting in people's faces.
Speaking of the streets, I've been emailing with Jorge. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish what you were saying.
No. I was going to make a dumb joke, but I definitely want to hear the Jorge streets talk.
So we have a dinner planned in Chicago at C2E2. And I love Jorge because no matter what you talk about or whenever you talk to him, he's going to put a smile on your face. He's one of those people that just has that, like Scotty has that.
Yeah.
It's just that gift that when they speak, they spread joy. So we were talking about where to eat. And I was saying, if there's anyone you want to bring, let me know. And he's like, I'm thinking about it. He goes, regardless, so looking forward to seeing you and hanging out, bud. Let's show these fools what the streets are all about.
Oh my God. Yes.
So good.
It's a joke that will never die, and people around us will probably get very sick and
Right.
tired of it.
Totally. All right. I
And man,
will say,
we speaking of Scotty, we had some incredible meals while you were out
oh my
here
God,
with
dude, the food scene where you live is incredible. And Scotty and Jason know where to go.
yeah. And shout out to CB Cebulski.
Hell yeah. We had a great weekend.
Yeah, we had a
Great
good crew.
week. Yeah, it was good times.
I did a kick-ass panel with Phil Hester and Andy Parks, my old homies. We did a Clerks comic book panel retrospective, like what it was like
Oh, hell yeah.
working on those old comics, working with Kevin Smith. Phil and Andy are just, I've known them since I was like 15
Me
years
too.
old.
Oh, you've known them that long. Wow.
And they're just, I love those dudes, man. Oh, and speaking
bet.
of Phil, I will promote today. I saw him and mention it online. He illustrated a full G.I. Joe one shot. That's an all silent issue.
Did he write that one too? I think he wrote that one. No.
Shit, you're putting me on the spot now. I don't know.
No, he was telling us about that at lunch. That came out today.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, thanks, Chris. G.I. Joe silent issue Beachhead. That's in stores as of today, right? Because I'm gonna try and hit the shop tomorrow and grab that.
Dude, Phil is such a awesome artist and such an important part of this business for so many people.
Yes. So we're working on getting him on this show to hang out and draw with us and talk storytelling. And I think it's just a matter of him getting the proper camera, right?
Yeah, which he said he is getting. He sees the importance of getting some good equipment. And he's gonna invest in it soon.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, man, I think in this day and age, every artist now, it's sort of a requirement of just go out and
Totally
buy the camera and the mic. So
yeah, I think it's super important.
Where's Jake? Jake had to leave and get dinner with his family. He doesn't have time to hang out with us.
I know. We're just degenerates here.
We're just a bunch of vagabonds that have nothing else to do on Wednesday night.
All right, Jamie, let me get the camera real quick. Jamie.
Oh shit, you caught Jamie.
Oh, is Jamie slacking off?
Taking a bathroom break, maybe?
Oh no. Jamie.
Oh shit. His pay is docked for tonight. His pay
yeah. We're gonna have to remind him this is a half pay episode. He's in the bathroom, but he has his headphones on. He's like, fuck those guys.
How dare you take a bathroom break?
What is he, Bane now? I'm going to the bathroom.
Is Bane Scottish?
Chris said he's sleeping.
He is on those like weird.
Yeah, he is on those pills.
Right?
Jamie's going through something right now. He's in a lot of pain, taking a disco nap. You guys are awesome, just relentless.
Oh shit, he's calling me on WhatsApp.
Oh no, is he
Hold
okay?
on. I'm gonna step away for a second here.
All right, go ahead. All right, guys, if you look at you can't even see it because Jim's on screen. I have a feeling Jamie's having some technical issues.
Oh, he can't get his end back up right now, but he's trying.
Okay.
Dude, take your time. If you can hear us, take your time. It's all good.
Yeah, I wonder if I can switch cameras. Probably not. I don't know how you even switch cameras on this motherfucker. to the stage. Haha! Look, I did that. Haha!
Oh, nice, man.
All right, let me remove just so I can show you. Look at this, man. I'm manning the boards. I've got all the power. So, guys, just to let you know, so when I planned this, I planned for the focal point to be his face. So that's where all the rendering was. There's gonna be lots of blacks and dry brush and white all in one area. I framed that area with white, and then the white was framed with black. And so that was the whole idea. So that's what I'm talking about when I say when you're inking something, think about like the composition, like how and the values. How are you using these to create a solid composition? So one thing I'm liking, I was telling Jim about working on these small pieces of paper is you can create these like interesting little compositions and experiments. So that's been fun. Let me add Jim to the stage. Oh, here comes Jamie. I'll add Jim.
Oh shit.
And I'll add Jamie. Jamie's in the house. Jamie's in the house. Oh, Jamie's got the board again. Jamie's back in control.
Sorry, guys, my Chrome crashed and I couldn't get it back.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
Oh man, all good.
Jamie, I handled it. I was in control.
I'm
man.
proud of you, Shawn. I'm proud of you. I heard you shit talking me though, saying I'd fell asleep in that. Think better of you guys. Come on.
I called you on that. I said Jamie can probably hear us and is getting so pissed at us right now. That's right. Steve Coffin said Shawn has the power of Grayskull. Damn straight.
Jim, those Pentel whiteout squeezy pens are great. Yes, I like this Presto brand. This guy.
Yeah, I used to use those.
Pentel makes the it's like more of a
pen shape,
skinnier.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, while it was crashed, did you see that Dominic Gomez super chatted another $5?
No.
Another one? Oh, thank you,
That's
Dom. Dominic's awesome.
And then
I
he
dropped a
sent-
question in a super chat while Jamie was gone. Okay, so do you guys think Coffin Comics is the biggest indie comic company right now? I don't. Do you even know what Coffin Comics is? Have you
Of
heard
course,
it?
yeah. That's Brian Polito.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're doing great numbers. They're
Yeah,
doing
I love
everything
Brian.
on
Yeah.
Kickstarter, right?
No, dude, this is the most gangster shit ever. Do you know about this?
No, I don't.
Brian
Tell me.
Polito is so successful. He left Kickstarter and formed his own crowdfunding platform.
What? No.
So if you want to support their books, and I went and checked it out, and it's actually a more efficient, easier to follow, easier to navigate platform than Kickstarter. So I love Brian Polito, whether people like his work, the books he puts out or not. I think he's a total gangster and pure punk rock.
Yeah,
has been around for what, 35 years now.
Dude,
and
he's a troubadour.
I want to talk to him at some point about all the stuff that he's doing. Dude, he would be a fascinating guest to have on the show at some point.
I was just going to say, we should definitely have him on. And he's in charge of Tucson Comic-Con, right?
He's one of the co-owners, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to do that show one year too. Yeah.
So,
yeah. Maybe when you go this year, if you're going, we can talk to him about coming on the show.
Yes, I'm scheduled to be there, and that's last weekend of August.
Yeah, I gotta ask Eric to reach out to Kevin Eastman again because I've emailed him, and I need he hasn't responded. So I think we need someone who knows him to like give him a heads up.
Yeah, Dominic said, I think he's the most interesting person in the crowdfunding comic space. Super underrated. Yeah, I agree.
Awesome.
I mean, he just has his own empire at this point, man. Like, I don't think he
Good
really
for him, man. That's the goal.
I don't
That's
think he needs
amazing.
to really mess with anyone else or worry about what other people are doing. He just has a super loyal fan base for the kind of material that he puts out, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I lived in Arizona, I would run into him occasionally, you know. He was always really great guy, super nice guy, and
Yeah, he seems like he's always very positive and upbeat and
Yes.
doing his
Super
thing.
positive about art and comics.
So it's not Chaos Comics anymore, it's Coffin Comics?
Yeah, he I think because of legal issues, I think he had a co-owner or investors or something, but
Oh.
he got rid of Chaos years ago and just completely rebranded.
So does he still do Lady Death through this new company?
Yes. Yeah. If
And
anyone
Evil
knows,
Ernie?
if anyone knows better than me, feel free to chime in on the chat. I don't know if he has Evil Ernie anymore. I feel like maybe that's something he might have lost.
Okay.
But dude, you know, if you go to like Coffin Comics, the website, the aesthetic of what he's doing has not changed in 35 years. You know, it's girls with big tits, it's horror, it's for metalheads, it's for wrestling fans. I think it's fucking awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I like it. Sounds
And
good
it's
to
just
me.
he's just always been unapologetically him, you know. So
I mean, honestly, that's the best way to be. Just be you.
Yeah, man, when I was living in Arizona and partying, I would occasionally just like run into him at bars or something, you know.
Oh, that's cool.
I think he was partying hard during that era as well, and
right.
he still had his really long, like, you know, heavy metal hair and everything.
Right.
We would always be like, "What's up, dude? What's up, man?" You know.
It's awesome.
I think Atomic Comics was a big chain of comic shops out in AZ at that time.
Yeah.
Him and I were both friends with the owner, Mike, of that chain of stores, and there was always signings and events going on that I would see him, and I would see like Jay Photos and some of the guys that worked for McFarlane at the time. So there was this kind of, those were like the Arizona comic book players, and then I eventually met Rick Remender. You know,
Oh, right. That's right. I remember that.
Rick was working in animation, and then like his whole studio got laid off.
Right. I remember that.
After the debacle of Titan AE. Remember that movie?
Yeah, totally. Jake worked on that.
That's right. We talked about that with him.
Yeah. They worked on it together and didn't even know each other.
Yeah. Small world with all this stuff.
You sent me another photo before we came on. Do you want to?
Oh yeah, guys. Can you pull that up real quick before we end the show? I want to speak on this just for a second. Guys, I put up an ad for a free tattoo earlier this week, and someone claimed it. Tomorrow I'm tattooing it. This is the mock-up I made today. I did the drawing and in Photoshop put it on his arm. So tomorrow I'm gonna be tattooing that. I'm gonna be opening books kind of soon. So keep an eye on my socials, because if I say like, hey, I've got this design, if anyone wants to get a tattoo, for a little while longer, they'll be free, but then I'll start charging. But I would love to have the type of situation where I get to just draw up some cool designs and see if anyone wants them. That would be fun. So if you see me doing stuff on social media, like, just engage with me. Like, he DM'd me. He wasn't even like quick. It was like hours later. Like, I posted in the morning, and that night he DM'd me, and he's getting it tomorrow. So just keep an eye open. I'm excited for this one. This is gonna be a fun one.
Dude, that's awesome. That's great. Shawn, there's a technical question real quick. MF asked, have you ever tried Rapidograph white ink in a pilot parallel? I haven't. Would that work? Like what?
Okay. White ink, I haven't done it in a parallel, but I remember this I know this from nibs, and I know this from Rapidographs. It never comes out great. It never like lays down like a real opaque white like you're expecting it to.
Right.
And it does clog them up much faster than the black ink, because in order for it to be opaque, even though it says it's okay for fountain pens, it's still thicker because it still has to lay down opaque. I've done it with nibs. I think honestly the best thing you can do for white ink if you want to run it through a pen is to dip it into like get a good like pen white ink and dip it. You could use those calligraphy nibs like this, which will give you the the parallel pen look. These chisel point calligraphy nibs. Or
Right.
I find that the G pen works great with it too. But honestly, for me, the white ink is just too thin. It just doesn't lay down opaque. So I use a very thick acrylic white or a gouache, and I use a brush. You know,
Yes.
in the early 2000s when gel rollers came out, that was a thing. That was like the first pen people could like achieve a really opaque white with, but it only worked on certain boards with certain inks. And I remember the DC
Yeah,
board.
man.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. It
Yeah.
grays out as it dries. But the DC board with I think it was Dr. Martin's Black Star, it would work pretty good with. But you know, these things are all so finicky. I find there's nothing better than brush and black ink or white paint in a brush. I mean, pens can be great with black ink. They're like the parallel pen with black ink is great. But when it comes to white ink, I just think the brush and a paint is the only way that's really going to give you what you want.
Yeah.
Or
Good
the whiteout
question.
pens. Those work too. Those are really opaque. That's the thing is acrylic white ink is not nearly as opaque as a whiteout pen. It's a totally
Yeah.
different medium.
I've
But
been using these for decades, like literally decades for just my white.
yeah,
And then I
I
also
used
have
to use those too.
the Posca white, this one. I've talked about
Oh,
this
the
before on the
Posca
show.
whites are pretty good.
This
Yeah, that
does
one I
work.
like, Jim. Yeah,
This
that
is a
one's got a
very this tool does not last long. Like I can use one of these for maybe 2 pieces and then the tip gunks up even if I clean it,
yeah,
shake it. It's just it's a very
finicky.
sensitive. It's a
Yeah,
finicky,
yeah. I
but
really
I do
liked that.
recommend it, but I don't
I
know.
used that on a commission in Kansas City. I borrowed your pen, and I really liked it because it had a pointy tip, which I didn't
Yes.
expect.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just that finickiness, that sensitiveness of all these pens. It's just like I know my brush, my water, and my paint is just gonna always act right. So
Those are your
yeah,
friends.
Posca can chip away down the road. Yes. These are paint pens. It's your think about this. If you remember when you were a kid in elementary school making those tempera paint like pictures, at the end of the day, they were all cracking because it was laying down this like thick, crappy paint. But the paint pens are just acrylic ink, but you're laying it down so heavy they can very easily crack. It's not paint. It's made to run through a pen, so there's other shit in it. Again, like it's just like the gouache Jim was using. Nothing's going to beat it. A Posca pen is not going to beat it.
Yeah.
I know you're not going to be able to draw as freely with it, but with time and practice, you can achieve a lot. I would argue that the brush offers you a wider range of abilities.
And on that note,
Yes,
may
sir.
all your wildest dreams come true, you guys, with your craft, your skills, your tools. And we will, I don't know where I was going with it. And we will leave you on this note and say, Shawn, when's our next show?
April 23rd, the Godzilla episode.
Godzilla episode with the young, super talented Jake Smith, badass artist, done many Godzilla projects for IDW. Gonna be a super fun one, man. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Jim, you crushed it. I've been telling you this. You are stepping into some compositional brilliance with everything you're doing these days. Like
Thanks
the
so much,
design
man.
of that whole thing is so good.
Thanks.
It's such a good design.
I need to figure out some lighting stuff because this actually looks really good in person and on screen. What you guys are seeing,
Yeah,
it looks pretty
It's
shitty. So I
the
need
only
to
thing
figure out a
upgrade.
lighting rig. The other thing, man, is my main iMac, my big ass iMac, is literally right here in front of me. So
That's putting off the light.
I'm wondering if that is just destroying my whole.
Well, Jim, let
lighting
me ask you this. What if you put the camera on the other side of the computer and sat at your art table right there? So you weren't right in front of the computer.
Shawn, that's so obvious and logical. I think you just changed my life. There's some times where I'm an idiot. There's some times where I
Dude,
don't know.
I think we've established I'm an idiot. But that's why
So
me
guys-
and Mateo together collectively have a
Oh
brain.
my God. So what this means is next show, I'm going to have a fucking killer setup, man. It's going to be great. So no, that's the solution, man, is I just set up my whole rig to the right of where I'm at.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it's great.
So
Dude,
anyway,
looking at that, I'm so happy I got to do Johnny Storm and capture his like fun personality in this piece.
It's badass.
Thanks. Both of those.
That's
It
a lot
looks
of fun.
great.
Well, and a little blazing 4 in his chest. Nice.
We're rocking it for the people. You guys, thanks for joining us tonight. Thank you all so much for the super chats. You're all beautiful. Stay in touch with us on the Discord. And Jazzy Jamie Wood, we love you, dog. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, wait 1 sec. Guys, come see me at C2E2. Please stop by. And if anyone wants a commission like this Johnny Storm, I think I have 1 slot left. They filled up fast, but I think I have 1 left. So email me inkpulp@gmail if you want one. And that's
Hell
it.
yeah. Awesome. Thanks, you guys. Good night.
All right, peoples.
Peace.